Hi again, Erica of Confident Parenting, and I'm answering your sleep and potty training questions. This mom wants to know, can I start sleep training when the 4-month regression hits? So briefly, what the 4-month regression is, there are two things happening. One, your baby is going through a huge leap in brain development, so they're super revved up, and you'll often see sleep get harder for a period of time. Imagine waking up on a new planet. You don't know where anything is. Suddenly all the lights are on. You're seeing everything new for the first time. You don't speak the language. It's kind of stressful, but it's also exciting. That's kind of what your baby's going through at the 4-month regression. So it's a progression in development, which is a good thing, but it causes everything else to kind of go by the wayside. Their mood, their feeding pattern, their eating pattern, everything's just kind of off. Once the novelty of that wears off, some babies bounce back to their normal patterns. So you could just wait and see, is this a temporary thing and it's going to get a little bit easier. However, a lot of families don't bounce back, and that's when they reach out for support. And that's because along with that big leap in brain development, now we have a bigger brain that's further along, and that brain needs to go through more complex sleep patterns to be really restored and rested. So your baby goes from newborn patterns, which are pretty simple, and they can more easily connect their sleep cycles independently, to more complex patterns that essentially have more opportunities for your baby to wake up. Plus, they're now more aware of their surroundings. So when they wake up, they go, hey, where did everybody go? And I don't know what to do about this. Whatever you did to help me to sleep, I'm going to need you to come back, and I'm going to need you to do that again to get back into sleep. So it is around this time that a lot of families notice that whatever supports or crutches, if you will, their baby's been relying on to get to sleep, whether it be feeding, rocking, nursing, standing on your head, driving, strolling, we do lots of things. Babies start to look for that earlier and more often throughout the night or throughout the nap, and parents start to get really tired. So I would say to the mom that has this question, you can start during that time. However, realize that your baby is also already going through a lot. So you may choose to wait just until that whole developmental progression has passed. If your situation is sustainable and you can handle that, you can wait a little bit longer. It's lovely in theory to not throw too much at baby at once. However, I think we also have to be realistic. So if you are on the ledge, so to speak, ready to jump out the window, or, putting your baby down and walking away because you just can't take it, then I also think that sometimes there is an argument to be made for making some changes. It's hard to know whether a baby will just bounce back or not. Typically, the babies that I see that bounce back after this regression are the ones that weren't really reliant on parental support or external support to get to sleep in the first place. So they hit a temporary setback because they're all revved up, and then they just start sleeping well again. The babies that are reliant on a lot of help, they are less likely to come through unscathed after the 4-month regression, because the changes in the sleep patterns are permanent. So the novelty of the development will wear off, yes, but the changes in the sleep patterns will stick, and your baby is probably going to hit these little bumps in their sleep cycles and need that help and be looking for that help until you support them through a process of learning that they can manage these new normal transitions on their own. And usually that does require some form of sleep learning, sleep training, whatever we want to call it. Basically just helping baby to be less reliant on what they've been reliant on up to this point, and more willing and able to go through the motions of initiating and sustaining sleep by themselves. So my quick answer would be, it depends who you ask. If you asked a baby brain development expert, should you start sleep training during that time, I know that they would say no, there's already too much going on. And I would love to answer that way too, but I also meet families where they are, and I know that sometimes things are just completely unsustainable, and we have to dive in when we need to dive in. And I've certainly helped families through sleep learning processes, at the same time that baby's going through the regression. And in that case, you may just want to sort of approach it a little more gradually. You may want to choose a more hands-on strategy. In my opinion, sleep training is not equal to crying it out, walking away, and not helping at all. So I do offer more gradual and gentle strategies for families. So for me personally, that's my compromise when a family needs to start during a time when baby's already coping with something else. I, give them some options where they can go more gradually and be more hands-on. So yes, you can, depending on who you ask. Most importantly, you need to be consistent once you dive in. So if you in the back of your mind are like, oh, I'm not comfortable doing this when baby's already going through something, that might be problematic. So I would never start something that you can't see through. And you are really the only one that can, ask and answer that for yourself. Is this something I can be consistent with, or am I going to feel, guilty doing it during this time? So I hope that gives you some insight for anyone that needs help tackling the 4-month sleep regression, or if you are feeling trapped at 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 months and you never came out of it. Please come find me. I'm happy to help you figure out what's going on and how you can get to a better place. Send me a message, send me an email, erica@beaconfidentparent.com, or just go ahead and visit the website, which is also beaconfidentparent.com. And if you have a question answered, send it my way. I'll be back to answer more soon. Thanks for watching, guys.